Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
Nukchuk.
And he's Count Jackula, and today we're going to talk about Predator Badlands from director Dan Trachtenberg of Prey and Predator Killer of Killers fame. So this is his third Predator movie so far. He's also famous for making 12 Cloverfield Lane, so if you like that movie, you should check out these Predator movies. They're actually pretty good so far. So Predator Badlands is the first Predator movie that follows a predator as the main character. A young Yautja, which apparently is the predator. Yautja. Is it Yautja?
Yeah,
okay.
it's Yautja.
A young Yautja, which is apparently the predator's own name, or at least the name they call themselves.
Yeah, like human.
Like human.
Probably just means the people.
Most likely. So Dek, a young Yautja, is the runt of his clan and is outcast by his father and is going to this famous death planet, a planet that all the Yautja fear, to capture the unkillable Kalisk in order to prove himself so that he can go back home and get revenge on his dad for killing his brother. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the first 10 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
But along the way, he befriends a synth from Weyland-Yutani, so this has a bit of an alien crossover happening here.
Yeah. You don't see... Weyland-Yutani shows up, the synths show up, but the xenomorphs do not.
They do not.
Which I think was for the best.
It was for the best. That's something they can save for another movie down the line.
Yeah.
You know. But, they made it very clear these movies are in the same universe now. So, he befriends a synth named Tia, who helps him venture across this dangerous fucking planet that's literally out to kill him at every turn.
The trees are out to kill him. The grass is out to kill him.
The grass is made of razor blades. That's how insane this fucking planet is. And what follows is a actually kind of heartwarming and kind of adorable found family adventure movie. Yeah. But about a predator hunting a prey. That's basically what this movie is.
Yeah, this is basically it.
Yeah, basically. This movie's a lot of fun. It's very different from every other Predator movie because, first off, it's a different genre. It's an action movie, don't get me wrong. All the Predator movies are action movies, but say the original Predator and Predator 2 are kind of like action horror movies, right?
Yeah, well, it's also, they're also really macho.
Yes, they're super macho. And what's really cool about this movie is that this is a movie about a character who starts off as incredibly macho. It's actually a thing that's causing him to fail more often than not, and he actually kind of has to open up and be more emotionally open by the end of it in order to succeed and accept help from other people. Yeah. So basically,
this is a movie about family.
This is a movie about family and toxic masculinity. He must overcome his toxic masculinity instilled by his tribe.
Yeah.
And find his new family after he's been outcast by the terrible, abusive one that he came from.
Yeah. One of the things that I really like is that this Predator has a very different look than the previous ones.
All of the Predators in this seem like they're from a very specific clan that's slightly different from the ones we're used to. Yeah. It's also different because he is a smaller one.
Yeah, he's more human-sized.
Yep.
Whereas most predators are 10 feet tall.
Yep, absolutely. And because of his size difference, that means he has to go about his hunts very differently than all the other predators. He has to use his head. But all the stuff that they teach him relies on the fact that he is bigger than stronger than everything.
Yeah.
But he's not bigger and stronger than everything, so he has to overcome not being bigger and stronger than everything by using his head.
Yeah.
But that's not something that they want him to do in his clan.
No. He's just supposed to be better.
Yes. And he has to go about it the way Arnold went about fighting the Predator.
Yeah.
He has to forego all of his technology that he had relied on up to this point.
Yeah, because he doesn't have it anymore.
Yep.
It's all fucked up.
And he also has to rely on others, something the Predators keep telling him not to do.
Yeah.
You can't keep having your brother help you. You got to do it on your own. Right? He takes that lesson when his brother dies to, I should do that. I should do this all on my own. And it's just after constantly failing and having to my on Tia and another character named Bud, which we'll talk about in the spoiler section. And realizing that, no, this is my strength.
Yeah.
My strength isn't that I'm the lone wolf. I am the protector of the pack.
Yeah, I'm the guy that can keep everyone together.
Yes. Exactly. And I thought the movie handled that journey perfectly.
Well, it's really helped by the fact that despite the fact that you have a main character that never speaks English, is almost entire. Well, maybe he might not entirely be CG, but that he is a character made of special effects.
Yeah. He's actually a guy that has CG on his face and some prosthetics.
Yeah. But Jesus Christ. Like, you know what the guy's emotional state is at any moment.
I know. Like,
I don't know how they did that.
You forget that they're using effects to achieve some of those emotions because the emotions are so well done, you just see him as a person.
Yeah.
You know, you forget you're looking at an effect.
Yeah,
at any
and for
given
most
time.
of the point, most of the fucking thing, he doesn't have his helmet on.
Yep.
So they're not like relying on you putting whatever emotion you want onto his face because he has no face, which would have been the easiest thing to do.
And you get all these like cool little subtle animations, like the way his like little mouth flaps move to indicate emotions in ways that like isn't even human, but you can read it. You can understand what he's doing, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The way like the mouth moved like that, like it's like a frown, but it's not a frown. How can I tell it's a frown even though he's not actually frowning?
Yeah, exactly. They did a really good job.
Well done to the animators and well done to the actor who was playing the Predator. I'll put their name right here. They did a great job.
Yeah, it all came together really, really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if it didn't, this movie would suck.
Yup.
You know, but it did, so the movie kind of rules.
So, like I said, most Predator movies are kind of like a combination of action and horror movies. Like the first Predator might as well be a slasher movie, but like there's action involved fighting the slasher. But this movie isn't really a horror movie. It's more a fantasy adventure story, but in a sci-fi setting.
Yeah.
It might as well be fucking Frodo trying to reach Mount Doom, but instead of like orcs he's fighting, it's synths. You know?
He's fighting synths in the environment itself.
Yes,
you know?
yes, absolutely. And I like that. I think like this movie walked its genre line very well and justified its existence despite doing so many different things that, if in the wrong hands, could have failed and fell on its face.
Oh, yeah, because we've seen it fall on its face before.
Absolutely.
You know? But no. They handled it really, 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 really well. And that's what makes the movie so great.
Absolutely. You know what? It's a Conan in space movie with a Predator.
Yes.
It's a Conan in space movie. There we go.
Yeah, Conan's got to learn to, like, you know, rely on his allies.
Yep.
You know, he has to gain allies as opposed to just the limitations of the women.
When you think about it, the story, if you remove the brother part of the story, his actual journey in this movie is not that dissimilar from the journey of the character in Deathstalker that we just watched.
No, it's not.
Right down to the, like, having to, like, rely on other people, too.
Yeah.
So yeah, Predator Badlands, I think it's one of the best action and adventure movies of the year, one of the best blockbusters of the year. You should totally check it out. It's also one of the best Predator movies ever made.
Yes.
And I said that about Prey. This movie is also in that same category. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, the movie is currently available to rent or buy on various streaming platforms, and it's also still in theaters right now if you want to go check it out on the big screen. I actually think this movie is worth watching on the big screen because there's a lot of big, beautiful vistas in this movie that probably look great.
They got some of that Avatar going on.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And with that said, let us move on to the spoilers, because there actually is some twists and turns in this movie that I was honestly not expecting when they happened. So let's talk about the spoilers.
So as we said, the whole movie is really about family.
Yep.
And this also applies to the synth. It's just that her family is ÄtherialTea.
Yeah, she's got a sister who is basically her boss on the mission to this planet. Basically, they've come to this planet to gather samples of creatures for research. And given that it's ÄtherialTea, you pretty much know that the twist is going to be the research is for bioweapons, because
that's what they do.
That's what they always do in every fucking movie with them. But that's not the real twist of this movie. That's revealed pretty early on. It's one of those things that the audience knows it before the characters do. No, the actual twist of this movie is this entire movie, Dek has been hunting.
Dek is the Yautja.
Yeah, he's the Yautja. He's been hunting this creature, this unkillable Callisk. And along this journey, he's befriended this little creature called Bud. Or at least that's what they call him. He's Bud.
Yeah, like what's her face names him. The synth names him.
Basically, he earns this thing's respect when they both fight the same monster together.
Yeah.
And the thing starts following him around and kind of like latches onto him like a puppy or like a little kid.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a like a lone wolf and cub vibe between him and the
because
Bud.
he keeps imitating Dek.
And there's this cute moment where like the creature Bud like spits on him and Tia the synth is like, oh, oh, he's imprinting on you. You know, he wants you to be part of his clan.
Yeah.
Which is a very cute moment that Deck completely dismisses. But when you think about it, looking for a clan is kind of actually his real journey.
Yeah, it's his real deal.
You know, Bud is deciding in that moment that his clan includes these two. They're found family, so to speak. But here's the twist. The Kalisk that he's been hunting this entire fucking movie, that is Bud's parent. Yeah. His mother or father. I'm assuming mother. I don't know.
Yeah. You assume.
I assume. But Bud is a little Kalisk. And this leads to some great moments. But my favorite one is actually one that I said when we reviewed the new Jurassic Park movie that I wish it had happened in the movie. In the new Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic Park Rebirth, there's a point in which the characters befriend a little dinosaur, like a baby dinosaur.
Yeah.
And I was thinking when that was happening that, oh man, what should happen at the end of this movie is they should be like cornered by something, and then that thing's mama comes and like saves them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like that's the crowd pleasing moment. That's the setup, that's the payoff. It never ends up happening in that movie, and that annoyed me because it felt like something they set up and then did nothing with. In this movie, they do something with that because the finale of this movie involves Deck trying to save his synth friend and trying to save the Kalisk from the other synths who are going to take the Kalisk back as a bioweapon to Earth. He ends up in a fight with Tia's sister, who is in one of those power loaders, but it's a much bigger one than we're used to.
Yeah. It's like a giant one.
Yeah, this one was like the industrial power loader. Like, holy shit. Like, if you've seen like the difference between like a big tractor and one of those like mini tractors.
Yeah.
The one that we're used to is the mini tractor. She gets in like a huge one.
Yeah. Makes her like 20 feet tall.
Oh God, like it's towering over even the fucking trucks they have at the fucking place they're at. He has to fight her in this, and then lo and behold, who saves the day but the parent Kalisk? So you have a kaiju and robot fight at the end of this movie. And he has to help the Kalisk defeat Tessa. Yeah. Tia and Tessa, I believe, were their names.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and at the end of the movie, he has this newfound family. The Kalisk, the baby Kalisk, and Tia.
Yeah. And then he has to go home and defeat his father.
Which leads to one of my other favorite moments in this movie, which is the end credit
end credit scene, yeah.
So he has like the fantasy story. The guy gets revenge on his father, defeats his father. His father turns out to be far more of a wimp than he was putting on. Like he's got like this masculine front, but the moment he's facing death himself, he becomes like a sniveling coward.
Yeah.
You know, classic shit. Classic fantasy story, revenge movies shit. After the credits, or in the middle of the credits.
In the mid-credits, yeah.
All the other Yautja start raising their weapons and surrounding him. And then, like a ship arrives. And Tia's just like, is this another member of your clan? And he's just like, no, it's my mother.
Yeah, that's where it ends.
That's where it ends. Which was amazing. That's another thing I love about this movie. The humor in this movie is fantastic. Yeah, I was laughing so hard.
Oh my God. Okay, so you know from the trailer that Tia, the main synth, has been ripped in half. Mm-hmm. What you don't know is that bottom half is its own character.
Yes. One of the best fight scenes in this movie is when she's fighting the other synths and her bottom half is fighting separately from her top half.
Yeah.
And at the end of the fight, they fucking like high five.
Yeah.
High foot high five.
High foot high five. Ah, yay.
What Bud was doing in the background of all those scenes when he was like, you have Deck and you have her and they're fighting the synths, and then in the background you would see it rolling around and like pulling off heads and shit. Yeah. It's fucking adorable. I love Bud. Bud is precious. Nothing bad can happen to Bud. They did kind of do a thing where at the end of the movie, when Bud shows up at the end, it reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy because all of a sudden Bud was like way bigger.
Yeah. Now he's not quite adult, but he's like bigger child.
Yeah, it was like he was a teenager all of a sudden. I'm just like, okay, it must have taken a couple years to get back to the home planet.
Exactly. And they don't really have like an explanation of that, and they don't really need to.
They don't need to. Yeah. They don't need to.
It's just like, whatever. It just took them. They just took them a while to get back.
Absolutely. If they make a direct sequel to this, I'll totally be there because I love these characters and I would love to see them go on spacefaring adventures together.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then again, I've always been a fan of that particular subgenre. You know, the Outlaw Star, the Cowboy Bebop, the fucking Farscape. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Where can they find you, Count Jackula?
You can find me here on YouTube every weeknight at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We talk about all kinds of groovy things like monsters, mayhem, and madmen. And I would love to see you there. You can come down and just bother me with whatever bullshit that you want, and hey, maybe I'll respond and it'll make a great stream. I'd love to see you there. How about you?
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on various social media platforms, but these days I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out my Patreon pages, or our Patreon pages. And if you want to help out, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more.
If you want to support the vlogs and keep them going, you please Patreon.
Absolutely, absolutely, because the economy's gotten pretty bad. I don't know if you've noticed. Grocery prices are fucking high. We could use the extra dollars if you can spare them. If you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag #AlphaWolf. Use the hashtag #AlphaWolf, that way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the whole world knows that according to the logic of this movie, the alpha wolf is not the wolf that beats up all the other wolves, it's the wolf that protects the herd, protects the family.
Yeah.
That's the real alpha wolf. So with that said, peace out, my fellow gorehounds, and we'll catch y'all later.